Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing a 12 by 12 layout, and I'm going to be using these three black and white photos right here. Right now I am just trimming them down, leaving a very thin white border around each one of those. And I am also going to be completing one of the 2021 Scrap Harder Challenge, which would be to include my actual handwriting on my layout. Now I'm going to use my handwriting for my journaling today. So like I said, I am trimming down my photos right now, and these photos are of my daughter. She had a haircut recently, and this is the shortest she's ever cut her hair. So I wanted to document it today, and I am using this lovely pattern paper. I am so in love with this pattern paper, and I wanted to make sure that it was a huge part of my background. Now I am going to be using some corrugated cardstock to break it up a tiny bit. So right now I'm just cutting strips of this pattern paper, and if you would like the exact measurements of the strips that I cut out, let me know in the comments and I'll share that with you. But right now I do not know the dimensions at all. Now, this is the design here that I'm going for. I wanted the corrugated cardstock to show up in between the pattern paper. And I'm going to build that on this white cardstock. Now, I found this basil minty green cardstock in my stash. You can see I gutted the center out and used it on another layout. And I had the outer edge here so I can use it as a frame around this entire layout that I'm doing today. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere my white cardstock on there. I did remove about an inch off each side, a ½ inch off each side of that white cardstock, so that way I'll have that basil minty green as a frame all around it. So here I have my strips all cut out. And I'm going to go ahead and begin adhering these to my background. Now at first I considered having my strips horizontally, and you'll see eventually I will have it vertically, but right now I am using my Tim Holtz ruler there just to center. That ruler helps you center. It has a 0 in the center, and it is really useful for helping you find the center of anything. So I used it to help center that middle strip you see there, which is the larger of the three. And now I'm going to go ahead and add in the other two strips on either end. Now once I place my photos on my background, I decided to go ahead and go vertically instead and have it in a cluster of 3 photos towards the left side of the layout. So you can see I adhere 2 of my photos directly to the background. And that third photo, I had some foam adhesive behind it, so it's lifted off the page just a tiny bit. Now I went ahead and added my title, which says Love the New Do, and I used some wood grain alphas to add in my title, but I will go ahead and change that in a little bit. Right now I am going through the die cuts pack that is from the same collection as that pattern paper. And I will add all of these items I'm using today down in the description box. And I believe this collection is from Pinkfresh Studios. So I pulled out a lot of the floral pieces here. I played around with it quite a bit until I found the look I was going for. And I also included those really pretty leaves. I have a favorite punch, which is a leaf punch. And any bits of scraps I have, I usually punch out leaves because those are so easy to tuck into clusters and build them up. And I have this paper stack that includes some rose gold mirrored cardstock and also some glitter cardstock, some gold ones. And I used the gold ones, the glitter gold, to punch out those leaves, and they look perfect in those little clusters I have going on there on my background. So this is where I changed out my alphas to those black, shiny, puffy alphas. And I love how it looks now. It definitely made all the other subtle colors pop off the page a bit more. And it also tied in together with my black and white photos. So now I'm going to go ahead. I am going to adhere my clusters down. And some of these floral pieces and some of the larger leaves, I did add a little bit of foam adhesive behind some of them. I have these little foam squares. They were the perfect size to add behind some of these smaller leaves. Well, actually, they're the larger leaves, but they are smaller than the flowers. And they were the perfect size to add behind those leaves to pop them up a tiny bit on my background. Now, this is where I went ahead, did my hand journaling, but I am not done. I will go back in. I keep building and building and building on my clusters and keep adding until I was completely satisfied. And I am not done adding to those clusters yet. So right now I am adding some rhinestones, and these are some gems. They are gold tone, and I'm just sticking them into my clusters, just tucking them in under the leaves, under the flowers, and some of them are quite visible, but I did spread those around. And then I'll add in some enamel black dots. And I also found some black enamel hearts that I'll tuck in as well. So that just brought a little bit more of that black into the layout, and I just love the contrast that it added to my project here. So now once I am done adding in those enamel pieces, those enamel shapes, I will go ahead and start working on the clusters again. Now here I actually outlined my journaling. I felt it was just a little bit lost on that piece of white cardstock that I added it to. And I just went ahead and outlined just the top and bottom of each one of those strips. Now here I added in a border all the way around my layout. I did not like it. So I cut off all of that minty green basil cardstock and decided to go ahead and mat my entire layout on this black cardstock instead. And now I will use the strips, flip them over, and tuck them in between my layout and the black cardstock. And it looks, I just absolutely love how it turned out this way instead of how I had it before. Now you'll notice I did leave that space empty right at the tip of each corner. And this is where I go back in and bulked up my clusters. Now some of these floral pieces, there are colors on them that I did not want, so I'm just fussy cutting out the pieces of the floral pieces of the floral die cuts that I did not want. And I am not done. I am going to bulk up the one to the top left corner. And I think that made a huge difference there. Now, the reason these needs to be bulked up so much, this background is extremely busy because of the pattern and the colors. So you definitely don't want to be too skimpy on your clusters with a background like this one. And I absolutely love how it turned out. You're not really seeing all of the gems that I added on there, but if you take a look at the still photos I have, you may get a glimpse of them. And I, of course, will add these still photos to my Instagram and my Facebook if you wanted to go ahead and check them out there. Those links will be down in the description box. So I hope you guys enjoyed the process today. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up before you leave. And I want to thank you all for watching today. So until next time, bye.